evening.
Good evening.
My name is... Looks like the counter's still on.
Mr. Tom, thank you. Go ahead.
So, good evening. My name is Alice. I'm a chapter leader with Gays Against Groomers. I'll be addressing a few key issues today. So we received multiple messages from parents in this school district regarding the reading materials that are being distributed in classrooms and also in school libraries. So firstly, let's acknowledge the incredible power of literature as a tool for learning and empathy. Books open doors to new worlds, they enlighten us, and they can nurture understanding across divides. And yet with this powerful tool comes the responsibility of choosing age-appropriate and educationally appropriate materials for students under the age of 18. I'd like to draw the board's attention to this book in mind. It's called The Kite Runner. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's a book that ultimately is about relationships and how those relationships connect and overlap. It's also worth mentioning that sex and violence are tied together in this book in a way that's traumatic, devastating, and very, very triggering to some readers. This book is also part of the curriculum in a high school AP English class in your school district. I'd like to read a brief excerpt of the book, if I may. So this is from the book here. Asif knelt behind Hassan, put his hands on Hassan's hips, and lifted his bare buttocks. He kept one hand on Hassan's back and undid his own belt buckle with his free hand. He unzipped his jeans, dropped his underwear. He positioned himself behind Hassan. Hassan didn't struggle, didn't even whimper. He moved his head slightly, and I caught a glimpse of his face. Saw the resignation in it. It was a look I've never seen before. It was the look of a lamb. I stopped watching, turned away from the alley. The inclusion of graphic content, especially boy and boy sexual assault, is a red flag warning to every single parent in this district. The explicit depiction of boy and boy rape can be very disturbing and very traumatic to young readers. The Kite Runner's main antagonist graduates from sexually assaulting this boy to growing into adulthood to purchase children at the local orphanage for the purpose of raping and torturing them. That's in this book right here. Now, it's our understanding that this district allows for alternatives, and there's supposedly an opt-in form for all questionable books. Was that procedure implemented for this class, and can the board provide a confirmation that the opt-in forms are being used for this school year? Families trust school boards like yours to provide a safe learning environment. Transparency is an important factor for parents when it comes to safeguarding their children's curriculum. As a school board members, you are responsible for the community you serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Levitt.
Good evening,
Good evening.
member of the boards. I just want to say, just imagine a school librarian or a teacher reading this out loud to a group of students. Ray likes how smooth I am, how raw my skin is. It burns by the time he's done touching it. No breakfast tomorrow, he says afterwards. I think you might be over 100 pounds. That's not acceptable. At bedtime, he rumples his sheets. We have a 2-bedroom apartment because he's my father and I'm his daughter, and he wants to take care of me. He wants me to have my own room like other little girls, and then crawls into my tiny bed with me. People, I ask you, does that make you feel uncomfortable? Well, it should. It's a long, detailed story about child rape. While we believe this is a real concern, this book, Living Dead Girl, paints a profound and emotional, disturbing scenario. To be clear, this isn't censoring voices or restricting freedoms. It's about recognizing that this is not age appropriate for any child. We wouldn't show a child a rated R movie, so why would we provide access to unfiltered access to a book like this? My name's Jana, and I represent a chapter of Gays Against Groomers, and I stand before you tonight driven by a responsibility that I believe we all share: the safety and well-being of all children. We are not against diverse or inclusion literature in schools. We believe certain topics are relevant, but they should be introduced with care, sensitivity, and most importantly, age appropriate. As guardians of our children's welfare, it's our duty and responsibility to ensure that their educational journey is not only enlightening, but also safe. I urge you, members, to please think of these innocent children's well-being, their emotional health, and let's protect them by creating a library that provides knowledge without prematurely exposing them to the darkest corners of humanity. We advocate for thoughtful reconsideration about the placement of this book in our libraries. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Warren.